Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the top 5 features and details that I think are missing from Grand Theft Auto Online that are in Grand Theft Auto 5's single player. That's right, ever since I've been playing Grand Theft Auto Online, there's a lot of little details I've noticed that were in the story mode but didn't transfer over to Grand Theft Auto Online. And a user on Reddit, Damos for the win, great name by the way, he's actually brought up the kind of conversation, kind of re-sparked it, some of the small details that were left out in Grand Theft Auto Online that I mentioned are in GTA 5 single player. So I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below. Let me know what you think are some of the best things in single player that are left out in Grand Theft Auto Online that I did not include on this list. Now, before we get started, I want to give out a disclaimer. I know that some of the things in single player just simply can't happen in online. For example, when you're in single player, things are a lot easier to render around one player as compared to a bunch of other players in online. It takes monumental computing power to check each one of the players in the server you're in. So I understand that some things are simply not possible, but I still do want to talk about these features. The first, and probably one of the most requested, is animals, especially with the addition of the next generation consoles and the PC. So when we were on the 360 and the PS3, I understood why animals weren't a thing in Grand Theft Auto Online. Those consoles were 10 years old. They were at the very end of their life cycle. However, with the addition of next generation and PC, those consoles and obviously the computers give us amazing looking wildlife and animals and birds and fish and sharks and whales. There's just so much beautiful wildlife in Grand Theft Auto 5 story mode, and there isn't anything in Grand Theft Auto Online. So I think the two biggest areas that are affected by this in online are the wilderness. They always seem pretty barren without the animals. If you just go in Grand Theft Auto 5 single player, you go around and explore, you go in the woods, you'll find like a deer that runs across or a mountain lion, or you'll see like birds flying in the air. You have none of that in GTA Online. And then the ocean as well. They pretty much made ocean exploration worthless because there isn't any fish, there aren't any whales, no sharks, no nothing to explore and to see out there. So that's probably the biggest one on my list. This isn't like a top 5 of one's most important to, 5 is the least important, but I know animals are something that has been requested for a long time. And originally I thought it had something to do with like animal violence, like PETA, that was stopping Grand Theft Auto Online from having these animals. But apparently that's not it. I'm guessing it does have to do with like the computing power to have each animal show up in the exact position for pretty much everyone in game, which I'm assuming if you ask Rockstar, they would say is near impossible. But still, animals need to happen in online. Hopefully one day. They're just so awesome, and it's a shame that they're not in the online mode. Okay, number 2 would be businesses and basically being able to run them. So that was a really cool part of Vice City, obviously getting to own like the Malibu Club, the Cherry Popper ice cream store. We even got to see that in Grand Theft Auto 5 single player. So whether it was running like a taxi business or, anything in game, it was really cool to be able to own businesses and ultimately run and do errands for them. Now, I know that would be kind of challenging in Grand Theft Auto Online. How would you have multiple people owning the same businesses? But I think it would be a really cool way to create a dynamic economy. And I know that Rockstar probably wouldn't like this because it would take away their shark card sales potentially, but I think it would be a great way for players to earn alternative ways of money. They could invest in a business and then they could basically run that business. And there could be some really cool things that you could do as far as business services in Grand Theft Auto Online. So whether you wanted to hypothetically be a taxi service for other players in game, could you imagine if there was an actual taxi service in Grand Theft Auto Online where another player in game was called to pick you up and to bring you to your location? Now, how crazy does that seem? It would be like Uber for Grand Theft Auto Online. I think that is really awesome, and I think owning businesses and being able to generate profit from them would be super cool. But obviously, Rockstar probably disagrees. That would, of course, take money away from them and their shark cards, so I can see why they probably won't do that, but it also would probably be super complicated having multiple people owning the same businesses, so I can also, in that regard, see why they didn't include that. All right, number 3 would be more dynamic places like the airport in single player. So you guys, if you go to the airport in single player, there'll be planes that are landing and taking off. You'll obviously see different like helicopters that are rising from helipads. There's really nothing like that in Grand Theft Auto Online. And that's the thing I miss a lot, is when you're playing in single player and you just see this like shadow fly over your head, and it's a giant 747 airplane that's coming to land at Los Santos International Airport. There isn't anything like that in online, and it kind of makes the world feel less real. That's what I love about GTA single player, is you can get so lost and caught up and immersed, and it's like, whoa, that's a plane flying overhead. That is super cool. There's also a few other areas that just don't seem as interactive and dynamic as they do in single player, whether it's the Playboy Mansion, whether it's the Lost MC hideouts. There's just a bunch of things that single player offer that online simply doesn't have. And I'm sure, once again, that has to go with the processing and computing power, but it is a shame that just there isn't dynamic cargo planes and passenger jets and helicopters using the airport and flying around. And I think that that would be really cool, and obviously would make Grand Theft Auto Online more exciting. All right, number 4, I'd like to see the stock market. Now, I know this would be a challenge for multiple reasons, people exploiting it, money glitches, etc. But that was one of the coolest things in online, is manipulating the stock market to your advantage. And I think it could be pretty cool. And I've actually got an idea where Rockstar could make it pretty balanced, and that is to make it randomized, kind of like the stock market is in real life. Now, granted, you can predict trends and you can see which company is on the rise or is falling, but in order to make no algorithm where anyone can just be successful, that would be really cool. So let's say you invested stock in Ammunition or the Legendary Motorsports website, and then suddenly they get a spike, then you would make money. Or vice versa, if you invested in, the Southern San Andreas Super Auto site and they lost money, you would lose credibility in that stock. So I think that would be obviously a great way to, again, make the economy a little bit more dynamic, but also create multiple ways to make money. Because in online, there's not a lot of ways to make money. It's shark cards, it's contact missions, it's double RPM money races. That's pretty much it. There isn't a whole lot else you can do in order to make fun, awesome money. Now, obviously, you've got heists and jobs, but there just needs to be some different ways to get things done. And I think the stock market would clearly be a great addition to the game and to making more money in online. All right, and finally, last but not least, number 5, it's all the little details. So whether it's taking your phone out when you make a phone call, which sounds kind of odd, but in Grand Theft Auto Online, you don't take your phone out. Whether it's pedestrians actually getting inside of buses, it's weird because in Grand Theft Auto Online, I'm pretty sure people wait for buses, like they'll go to a bus stop and wait, but they never get on, which is really odd. And also carjacking. So Franklin in single player, he has this really cool ability to like silently open a car door. Michael will like point a gun at someone. There's nothing like that in online. You just break the window with your elbow, or you just rip someone out of their car. I think there needs to be a little bit more variation with our characters, similar to the way things were done in story mode. And obviously the simple things like seeing pedestrians in buses, taking your phone out, you would think that'd be such an easy thing to do and wouldn't be such a restriction from Grand Theft Auto Online. But anyways, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments section down below on what are some of the things that you think are missing from Grand Theft Auto Online but are in GTA single player. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section down below. If you did go on to enjoy, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.